All right, first card. There's that. Card number 2. And the last one. All right, I'm going to go on stage. No editing. Remember, got it. All right, good morning, everyone. Now, quick show of hands. Who in the audience has ever heard a bad speech? That it's just so terrible that you can't even pay attention to it? Well, most audiences probably think that the audio that goes to a mic just goes straight out the speakers and into your ears. Well, that's not actually the case at all. I've been in technical production for over 10 years as an audio engineer, and I can say that the 3 main parts of making audio sound nice and natural and being able to listen to it and not be fatigued are making sure you got the right mic, making sure you know how to use that mic, and also making sure that it's processed correctly. Now, audio engineers are always behind the scenes, making sure that the vocals sound nice and balanced, and if you are ever finding yourself being here on the stage or up in the booth, you'll know how to use the system that you got. Now, first off, we're going to take a look at this mic over here. This is a Beta 87A, and according to the website Sound Maximum, the Beta 87A is considered a very high-end vocal microphone because of its high-frequency presence. Now, if I switch over to this mic, you can probably tell that even without any mixing, it sounds pretty good. This is not this microphone, by the way. This is a different mic. This sounds good even without any mixing, but there's a problem. I have to hold it in just the perfect way in order for it to sound its best. Most presenters probably aren't going to want to do that at all. So we'll need to find a better option. Turn that off. Turn that off. Well, currently I'm wearing the Q Audio condenser microphone. And without any mixing, I just turned off all of my processing. You can probably tell it sounds much, much worse. Now, this isn't that much of a problem yet, but let's switch over to the MX418 up at the podium. This one probably sounds even worse, but the big benefit of both of these is that I have both of my hands free. I don't have to hold a mic. These are probably what most presenters want to use. So with that in mind, let's go on to the next step. The first step to processing this audio is EQing. Now, EQing is cutting out parts of the frequency range that makes a certain vocal sound fatiguing, makes it sound boomy or really harsh. Now, according to the website Sweetwater, who is a distributor of a lot of audio equipment, video, whatever, there are 4 main sections of the frequency vocal range that can be adjusted. We've got the body, nasal ranges, which makes your voice sound like you're stopped up, presence, which gives speech its intelligibility, and sibilance, which is those really harsh S sounds. Now, if I turn my EQ back on, all of a sudden, it probably sounds much better to you. Now, currently, this curve, I've taken out a lot of the boominess, a lot of the nasal ranges because I'm a pretty nasally person, and a lot of the sibilance at the top end. Now that makes my voice sound much less fatiguing to listen to. You can probably listen to it for a much longer time without being so annoyed you have to leave the room. Now the next step in processing audio is compression. Now compression isn't just the thing that makes your MP3s sound terrible on your iPod. It takes those quiet parts of the audio, brings them up. Takes the loud parts of the audio, brings them down. It brings everything much closer in terms of volume. And that makes it to where you don't have to constantly be adjusting your volume all the time. I'm going to turn my compressor off and the limiter off as well, which is a fast compressor. If I turn both of them off, it sounds really quiet. If I turn just the limiter back on, it sounds really weird and super crushed. So that's how best to use a compressor. It allows you to have about the same volume and just speak normally. If you're speaking normally to the audience, you don't have to worry about your volume that much. Now, make sure you don't have your compressor too fast to adjust to the volume of your voice, like when we just had the limiter on. And also, don't make it too fast to bring the volume back up to its normal level. What the compressor does is just allows it to, again, sound much more natural, even though it's all at the same volume level. It's actually really nice to listen to. Now, in conclusion, The three main things that we need to look out for in audio are the right mic, how to, specifically for that mic, how to wear it or how to use it or how to stand up at it or any of that. And also, finally, the way to process it, because these two really need a lot of processing. Now, I'm not trying to turn everyone into a bunch of audio nitpickers. I just hope that everyone has an opportunity to learn something about how engineers make vocals sound natural. If you've ever heard a speech, whether good or bad, someone speaking or singing, then you know how best to balance that audio and how to make it sound good for your audience. Now, I hope everyone has learned something in this case. And also, yeah, I'm running out of time. Good evening.